So let me get this straight. You want to watch a movie where kids swear, cause a lot of crap, talk about things where they really don't know what they're talking about, and brag about things that are laughable. You should just become a public school teacher. They pay me to see that crap every day. Hey real students, welcome to Real School, the only film school out there that won't force you to move back in with mom and dad after only 8 months of trying to make it in LA. I'm your host Michael Wynn Johnson, and today I will be reviewing Good Boys. I got to see Good Boys at South by Southwest this year, way back in March, and I actually got to see the cast and crew interviewed at a Q&A on stage afterwards, and you know what? I learned a couple things. First thing I learned, well, Seth Rogen is actually a much more savvy businessman than I ever gave him credit for, because in just a few short years, he's become a mega producer. Black Monday, Preacher, Future Man, and most recently The Boys, and that's just the TV shows that he produces. So it's kind of perfect. He's been involved in some great content without actually really getting involved. And for those of you who know my channel, you know how much I love Seth Rogen movies, well, at least the ones he acts in, because the ones where he cameos, produces, or writes, I actually like a little bit more. I'm not sure what it is about him that lessens the film, but regardless, Good Boys is the kind of movie that has his stank all over it. Well, him and collaborative cohort Rogan Goldberg. It's their kind of movie, without the benefit of them actually writing it. And I say that negatively because the movies that Goldberg and Rogen have written have been funny movies. I will give them credit, but without them, it's up to director Gene Stupinski and writer Lee Eisenberg to write Good Boys. And while they did write several episodes of The Office, they also co-wrote Year One and Bad Teacher. Yeah, it took two people to write those. Those two movies, in my opinion, for lack of a better term, are just easy. They're easy comedies. Now, I've said before on my show that there is room for this type of film, the type of comedy that doesn't challenge you whatsoever, but with this type of film, there should be at least a little something new to get you interested in the first place. The closest we get to new is the fact that in Good Boys, they're kids, because otherwise, this is a Rogan Goldberg film that you've seen already. Now, granted, they didn't write Good Boys, but they did make Superbad. And Good Boys is basically just a prepubescent Superbad. There's a year-end party, and our young heroes will do anything to impress girls for social status. And that trope of hijinks ensues, I think, is the perfect description for this movie because, again, you've seen it before. The kids get themselves in trouble. They have to replace an irreplaceable item. They put themselves in physical danger. It's on and on and on, two similar plot points throughout the entire film. So again, the filmmakers are relying heavily on the fact that they're kids to make the film fresh and funny. But the fact is, that funny is also an issue because, in my opinion, it's really the same joke being told over and over. It's just one joke. Which is still at least one more joke than the 2016 Ghostbusters. I'm reminded of something I saw when Jon Favreau made Elf, where he said that he and Will Ferrell and the writer sat down and watched a lot of films to make sure that Elf wasn't a one-trick pony, because it was a fish out of water and those situations can be funny, but a movie needs to be more. Well, guess what? Good Boys is that exact same situation. Fish out of water, but without the work. 98% of the jokes in Good Boys is your typical fish out of water joke, and they're almost literally little guppies in a big pond. They don't know what Molly is. They've never tried beer before. They don't recognize a sex doll. They don't know what a sex swing is. Hearing Rogen talk about this film, you'd think there'd be more to it. Rogen had mentioned after the screening that he and Goldberg got involved in the first place because they were really intrigued about making a film that showed the earliest stage of a friendship evolving, where those BFFs that you've known since you were in diapers start to become interested in new things. And he's absolutely right. That would make a great film, if that were the film they chose to make. While sadly, that aspect of the film was just a mere moment, they did do a fairly good job throughout the film of making you care about the trio of kids. Well, at least 2 out of 3. Most notably, Keith L. Williams as Lucas. He's kind of the gentle giant. He's funny, he's sweet, he's got a lot of great lines, and he does deliver the lines very well. Plus, you have Canada's own Jacob Tremblay taking a break from tear-jerking dramas to try his hand at comedy. And you just gotta love Jacob Tremblay. He's a great actor, and it's great that he's branching out. And for possibly being the only male in Hollywood that Brie Larson can actually stand. I will admit, my personal experience and bias perhaps got in the way of me completely enjoying this film, because there was one aspect of this movie that was very realistic, and that was their portrayal of a lot of kids as douchebags, pretentious, full of themselves, full of lies, full of garbage, and just being rude to a lot of human beings. And as a public school teacher, I've definitely seen my share. Now, of course, there are some amazing kids out there, and they do balance out, but this movie really nailed that kind of douchey kid aspect, and we all knew kids like that growing up. Maybe some of you were one. That's not the kind of escapism I want to see. It's actually not the kind of movie I want to see kids in, because I don't want to see kids in these awkward situations, holding sex toys, talking about things that they don't understand, swearing, perhaps trying drugs. I won't give away too much of the movie, but the fact is, it's just not the kind of movie that I can enjoy because I feel it's awkward. Now, perhaps it's the kind of humor that you would enjoy or the kind of situation you want to see kids in, but for me, that one joke didn't work, and it carried on throughout the film, which makes Good Boys a burn it. Poll question: what child actor has really impressed you with their work? As always, leave your answers in the comments section below. But until next time, school's out. Hey Real students, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to Real School, click that round Real School logo right beside me. Also click that damn notification bell so you're aware of all of Real School's new content. You can follow me on Twitter, and of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link in the description below or the button down there, and you can become part of my Patreon team.